Hey everybody, I hope you guys are healthy and safe. So I am at the Zeiss headquarters right now in a town in Germany called, I'm sorry to my German friends if I completely butchered the pronunciation, Oberkochen, but this is the headquarters of Zeiss. Now I am here because Vivo invited me to check out Zeiss and Vivo's collaboration. If you follow my videos or social media, you know that I am a huge fan of Vivo's cameras. I think they've had the best image processing for the past like 4 years now. And coincidentally, that's when Vivo and Zeiss started collaborating in 2020 with the Vivo X60 series. This is the X100 Ultra, is, in my opinion, the best camera phone. But this video isn't really focusing on this phone because Vivo and Zeiss have collaborated on the latest project. This is the V40 series, so including two phones, the V40 Pro and the standard V40. Now, if you're not familiar with Zeiss, they are a famous, iconic German optical technological company. So they make camera lenses and also giant telescopes like this and a bunch of other optical equipment. In fact, if you have to go get glasses at doctor's prescription, you might use a Zeiss branded machine, as you can see right here. And in fact, when the US astronauts went to the moon to take photos, they used a Hasselblad camera, yeah, but the camera lens was a Zeiss camera lens, and apparently because the lens was so heavy, the astronauts couldn't bring it back and left it on the moon. So even right now on the moon, there are Zeiss camera lens. Let's get back to the V40 series really quick. I have the V40 Pro here, but both the Pro and the standard model are the first Vivo V phones to offer Zeiss's professional grade portrait experience. So this includes Zeiss's multifocal portraits, meaning various popular focal lengths like 24mm, 35, 50mm, 85, 100mm. Zeiss and Vivo have worked together to optimize these phones to produce the correct background compression, the correct Zeiss style bokeh, and also professional color tuning. So there's a 50 megapixel portrait lens here with a relatively fast f1.9 aperture and relatively large 1/2.5 inch image sensor. So the hardware is really good for a mid-range phone, but then you combine Vivo and Zeiss's collaboration in terms of building software processing and also the lens quality. Like Zeiss has every say over products that use the branding, so they want to make sure that the lens diffraction is on point. So when you factor in all of that, the portraits captured by this guy is really, really good. But let's check out some of the products here that Zeiss are known for. I mean, they've been around for 178 years, so they make amazing products. And also a lot of the footage you're going to see today is going to be shot with the Vivo V40 phone. So these are just some of the cameras I have used Zeiss optics in the past. So one thing I got to witness is the attention to detail that Zeiss engineers put into making the lenses. In fact, for the very expensive Cine lens, they are all handmade because Zeiss only manufactures very small batches. This type of attention to detail carries over to Zeiss and Vivo's collaboration. Okay, there's so much cool stuff to see at Zeiss's headquarters. So I also did a Q&A with people from Zeiss and Vivo and learned a lot of cool things. So for example, one of the developments that Zeiss camera lens did like many decades ago was built the T film coating to reduce lens flare. And they talked about how they managed to put that T coating onto Vivo's flagship phones like the X series here. Another development that Zeiss made was built a lens structure to reduce chromatic aberration. Chromatic aberrations when light hits a lens and it gets reflected and it comes out like with lens flare and ghosting. So Zeiss, obviously in the really expensive lenses, they have built really complicated structures to reduce chromatic aberration. But Zeiss also worked with Vivo to build that similar structure into the mobile phone lens. Now obviously, because the mobile phone lens, it's much smaller and also uses plastic elements instead of glass. So it's harder to do the exact same type of structure, but the basic foundation and philosophy is there. So it's really cool to see that this is a genuine collaboration between Zeiss and Vivo. Basically, every time Vivo has a new product that's about to launch, like say the upcoming X200 series, Vivo will meet with Zeiss and they will tell them, okay, this is what we're doing with the phone hardware-wise, like we have this lens with this lens. And then Zeiss would then work with Vivo closely to optimize the color tuning, the algorithms and the lens structure with Vivo to make sure that new phone is optimized to get the best out of both Zeiss and Vivo's color tuning. And that's another thing I learned too, because you guys know that I've been a big fan of Vivo's color science, and Zeiss had a big part to do with that because Zeiss, one of the founding philosophies is they want colors to be accurate and true. and that's represented in Vivo phones. If you jump into the menu, and there's a mode called natural colors, and when you shoot natural colors, that's using Zeiss's algorithm and tuning. And then also speaking to Vivo camera engineers, they say that everything that has a Zeiss branding, they have to work closely with Zeiss, and Zeiss has to give the final approval for everything. So everything has to meet the high standards set by Zeiss in the 100 something years history. And it's really cool to see that Zeiss built these camera lenses that cost like 5,000, 10,000 US dollars, and they were used to shoot these Hollywood films. And then now that technology, the foundation, the philosophy of it is in these phones. Clearly the lens, it's not the exact same lens, but it's the same philosophy, same foundation. And Vivo and Zeiss work together to build algorithm to overcome the fact that the lens are like this small instead of like this big. Really eye-opening session. Zeiss camera lenses are known for their very distinct, unique bokeh, including B speed, which is like a triangular bokeh. So in the past, on real Zeiss camera lenses that cost like $10,000, the B speed bokeh was produced because the aperture blades actually close up into a triangle, as you can see here. With the Vivo phones, Vivo and Zeiss work together to recreate that same bokeh artificially, digitally, like it's a software recreation. But Zeiss and Vivo work closely together to make sure it looks about as close to the real thing as possible, and it's exclusive to Vivo phones because these are Zeiss trademarks, so if you use another phone, you can't get these type of bokeh. If you watch any of my Vivo flagship phone reviews for the past few years, you would know that I am a huge fan of Vivo's portrait system. Now obviously the X100 Ultra has the best camera hardware, so it's easy for that phone to grab great portrait. But Vivo and Zeiss's software algorithm is so mature that even a Vivo V40 Pro, which has mid-range hardware, you can still grab some really good looking portraits. Check out these shots I've snapped over 2 days in Munich. My first day at Munich coincided with the first day of Oktoberfest, so I was able to grab some fun photography. The Vivo V40 Pro camera definitely punches way above its price range, and we have Vivo and Zeiss to thank for that. I mean, look at these portraits here, man. This is a mid-range phone. What Vivo and Zeiss have done is opened up the X series' flagship Zeiss portrait capabilities and brought that over to the masses because the V series is more widely available. I'm also happy to hear that Vivo and Zeiss have recently extended their partnership, so that means this is going to go for many more years to come. And I'm excited to see where Vivo phones go forward. Of course, the next one up is the X200 series, and I am very excited. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. It would help me a lot. Thanks for watching.